Hello. I'm fairly confident that I can promise that this might be the last windshield episode. So far, it's all fitted. I like the way it fits in here, and my plan is to secure this, mount it, Cleco it. I want to take the rivets that go on the top, because I have a lot of them in this black trim. Also the rivets that go in here, and I think I'm going to paint the heads black, at least with primer. And take one more look at this. I don't think the manual says it. If it does, I missed it. But I want a silicone underneath here, the windshield to that, before I epoxy that to that. I know there's going to be a silicone bead around here. We're going to probably save that until after it's painted, and hopefully get the wing cuffs glued on and everything riveted in, and that way I can say the windshield is done. So here we go. So I looked at the list and I'm checking it twice, and we got different rivets for here, we got different rivets for those three, and different rivets for up there. So I have plenty of the AAPQ, the 44s for here. We got plenty of the 27s, sorry, I need 27. I got 43s here, and I get a kick out of this one. That's 19 that goes across, and RANS is so generous that they give me exactly 19, which is fine as long as I don't mess up, because I don't think I have any extras of those. The idea is because these strips are black, that I'm going to paint the heads of these rivets black, and that way, I don't know, they'll blend better. Well, that paint's drying over there. I was just thinking, because I left this little expansion gap between the skylight and the windshield. I think I'm going to take this off and maybe run a bead of silicone in there. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that. It's probably a good idea. And I also have to put the VHB tape underneath the leading edge of this, so good time to do that. So the question is this long enough to go all the way across there, or do I get like 3/4 of the way and find out it's not long enough and then have to waste it? I'm not going to take a chance. I use a new roll. The manual clearly states to put the tape only under the forward edge of the upper windshield mating strip. I just wonder why not put it on the back side too? Maybe for the water to go out. But right now I'm going to fill that gap with silicone. Hopefully it'll be neat. Alright, that looks pretty good. Now I get one shot to put this thing down. Alright, getting the corners of the VHB protective tape off, that was like the hardest part. So my idea is just to kind of pull these out, set it down, and then pull it out. Have these like out like this, get it settled, and then pull it out and Cleco the whole thing together. I guess I didn't really mention the purpose of the drill bits was to use them as alignment pins. Somehow, I don't know, I thought this might work better. Was able to arch it up and pull the tape out like that, and that worked great. So real happy with that. And then I use a roller just to kind of, you know, push it down. So moving on, I think we're good. So while I'm in caulking mode, I think I'm going to take this guy off and caulk the lower half of the windshield. I also might just straighten this out a little bit. I got a little kind of like an up curve on here and there. So that's not adhering this to the windshield, but caulking the windshield seam to the bottom of the boot cowl. That went pretty smooth. I clecoed this back on just to have the windshield kind of sit where it's supposed to, you know, in case it puts a little pressure on it. I did move the windshield, kind of, you know, like pushing it in and out and making sure like it sits where it wants to sit. I even took the wings and kind of shook them into place. I'm happy. I don't know if you can see in there, but that looks like a nice watertight seal, especially over the little rivets where the boot cowl skins overlap. So I think we should be good. This would probably be a good point to let that cure. Still waiting for those to dry and see if maybe I can start putting these rivets in. Like I said, I'm going to work on my technique on how to seal the rivets with silicone without making a huge mess. So I'll do some practicing and I'll let you know what I come up with. Alright, this is the best I came up with so far. So I use this tube because it's a more controlled than what you can get out. And I basically literally just, these are just practice rivets obviously. Just a little bit around the outside. Oh, that one was too much. I guess it doesn't really matter if it oozes out. You're not going to paint up there anyway. I just want it to look clean and uniform. So that one was perfect. That's why I started shooting the video. This one I actually put the stuff inside the hole, pushed it through, but I feel like everything just pushed out the bottom and then, you know, sucked it into the inner stem. But maybe a combination of the two. We'll do the less visible spots first. I am seriously considering adding this very thin acrylic double-sided tape. It's the same stuff I used on the hold the boot cowl together, underneath these strips. I think I have enough. I think that A will help with water sealing. I think it'll just be good all around. Yeah. So that's the clear acrylic tape, and I don't know if you can see, but it's like obviously makes like a little, like a little diaphragm, you know, that you have to kind of penetrate. But I don't know, it makes me feel like that would help definitely in making it watertight. Alright, so those are all glued onto the acrylic, or Lexan in this case. They probably won't come off again, and I think I'm ready to rivet them. So my soldiers are ready to penetrate the strips and ribs and what have you. I'm still going to put the silicone around them, and I'll work my way through that. Here we go. So for what it's worth, again, I use this and I literally just coat a little bit on the inside. Just get it wet all the way around, no big blobs. Coat the bottom. And when you stick it in, you have like minimal oozing out. Just enough so you can see it, but minimal actually oozing out. And then the painting part was probably a waste of time, but then again not really, because now I just have to go and touch them up. At least there won't be any silver edges around. I just have to touch up the heads. But yeah, the rivet gun just destroys it. Well, that's why it's important that you stay in school. It would help if I count. I actually need 28 and I only painted 27. Whoopsie, almost forgot about these guys. I'm on it. So I'm pondering what the best game plan is with these, and I think I'm gonna do a piece of that acrylic double-sided tape on the inside to help adhere to that, and again help with dirt and water getting in there. And I don't know if these need silicone too. I kind of don't want to see the little silicone things on there. I might do paint. Actually, what I did up here is I used primer, like wet riveted these. I did not use the silicone here. I started to on the other side, but this isn't painted yet, and I just have fear of the silicone being a problem once you try to paint, you know, the wing and the rest of the plane. So yeah, between the acrylic tape underneath and how tight they fit, I hope it'll be okay. All right, here's how I'm going to do it. So I have the acrylic tape here that is going to adhere to the windshield part. Then I have acrylic tape here that's going to adhere that to the back of this, and also make these, I don't know, semi-watertight. And then remember, I left off the foam tape because I didn't, I don't know, I thought it was too much. But I'm going to put a piece of acrylic tape here to keep that thing adhered to that, similar like I did on the lower part here. And that's how I'm doing it. She's in, like the top ones. I'm gonna have to touch those up, but yeah, I like the way it's coming out. I think the next step is, well, according to the manual anyway, to glue this guy in. So again, I'm gonna fix this a little bit. Hopefully the silicone is dried from this morning. Here, I'm gonna clean this up a little bit, and I'll probably re-tape this line just to be sure I really like it. Alright, I sanded the high spots out and kind of straightened this whole thing out, so that looks pretty good. But then I also had to keep in mind, because my original black line, the one underneath here that's painted, is a ½ inch up from that, so I didn't want that to get like too thick. So kind of compromising it, but right there I think looks pretty good. Then there's I don't know, some flaws in here in the fiberglass too that it's like, should I address those, or can that be done when it's on there? And I think it can be done when it's on there, so I'm gonna carry on. Alright, I have it all masked off. I cleaned it all with rubbing alcohol. I already scuffed this previously with Scotch-Brite pad. We cleaned that too. I did put some tape here. I think I might run a little bit of silicone along the inside here, just a very light one, so the rivets kind of seal into that. And am I really going to glue this on now? I'm scared. Alright, I got my operating table ready, scalpel on hand. I got 4 tubes, I think that's what it calls for, the 2216. I still have this one left over from the cowl ramps. And instructions say to apply a generous amount from the center out on the outside of the windshield, and not to let it drip on this. Now I do know, or remember, that this stuff is pretty runny, or runnier than expected. We have 70 degrees right now, so hopefully, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Here goes nothing. I don't know how much is left on this one, but it should be okay. It's coming up. That's it. Alright, that was all nerve-wracking and exciting and rewarding all at the same time. So the stuff is very runny, so it does, like you saw, it just starts to run down. And then I went over, I filled the bigger gaps, because I use this little, I call it a Coke spoon, I don't even know what it is, to get the little chamfer edge in there. But I can see, like on these edges here, it's actually running down inside. So maybe I'll put some tape on that. All in all, that was a productive day. Finally got the windshield mounted. When I say mounted, still not done, but at least it's not coming out voluntarily. Yeah, so this stuff is quite runny. I'm sure it did run down onto the boot collar here a little bit. I think my original idea was to have a nice little fillet or whatever they call it there, but it kind of sunk down, so I didn't want to just keep pumping more into it. I think I'm gonna let this cure. I put some clamps on here just to pressure because I was kind of sticking out, and riveted all this. And yeah, so maybe when I come back next time, maybe I can run that little fillet on the top. I cleaned everything off, so I should be able to get that tape off, no problem. But anyway, for now I'm gonna call it a day. See ya.